to this podcast. Today we are going to talk about how important it is to have freedom of speech and what will happen if we lose it. And we also have a professor on the field. His name is Dave, and he also likes to rap. And we'll start by giving Professor Dave the word. Break it down, Dave.
Yeah, I actually wrote a little song about how important freedom of speech is. Bring the beat on.
Freedom of speech is our goal to reach, speak true and straight to the heart of state.
Yo,
A real debate that's something to congratulate, to manipulate and not participate.
in political
Debate. We must investigate and eradicate unfairness. Yo.
Whoa, that's so cool, Dave. Well done. Could you give us a definition of what freedom of speech is?
Yes, I can. Because I am a professional.
You are?
Yeah, bro.
Okay.
Anyway, the dictionary Oxford Languages says that the freedom of speech is the power or right to express one's opinions without censorship, restraint, or legal penalty. This means that the freedom of speech is having the right to express your opinions without negative consequences.
And can you say anything about how lacking freedom of speech can reduce life quality?
Yup. If we look at countries such as North Korea, we can see an obvious difference in overall living conditions from Western countries. Yo!
Why is that?
In North Korea, the state punishes everyone who goes against them. The people of North Korea have no right of free speech, and some live in fear of saying something that goes against them. North Korea is one of the worst states in terms of following the human rights, as people have no freedom of speech, no freedom of religion, and the state still practices the death penalty, which is proven by Amnesty International. The North Korean state does a lot of terrible things, but no one can say or do anything about it because they'll be punished because of the lack of freedom of speech there.
That is just terrible. We really are lucky being born in Norway.
Yes, just think about how we can say almost anything we want without any consequences. And they can say anything that goes against the state in fear of getting arrested and maybe even killed.
When you say almost anything, do you have any examples of us in Western countries losing some freedom of speech?
That have to be more of a cultural restriction. Most countries in the Western world don't exactly restrict our ability to say what we mean to the extent of countries like Russia or North Korea. But sometimes things like cancel culture can stop us from truly speaking our minds. For the better or for the worse. Yo.
Does this mean threats and hate speech is allowed in Western countries?
No, there are some restrictions like how threats and hate speech are punishable by law in countries like Norway. So citizens of Norway are still partially restricted verbally this way.
Could you quickly explain what a citizen is?
I, Dave, am a citizen. You are a citizen too. According to Oxford Languages, a citizen is a legally recognized subject or national of state or commonwealth, either native or naturalized. This basically means a citizen is someone that is part of a state or just the planet Earth. We are all citizens of this wonderful world.
And I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
What beautiful poetry. Just thinking about that we all are citizens of the world really makes you feel connected to everyone else in the world. But let's get back to freedom of speech. What would happen if we in the Western world lost our freedom of speech?
This is notably happening in one Western country right now, the United States. Their President Donald Trump is taking away freedom of speech and even banning words in certain contexts that really have no need of being banned. There is also, as I mentioned earlier, the fact that people are being cancelled on social media and being stopped from speaking up. An example is Elon Musk, the owner of Twitter, or X as it's called now, banning people on the platform that goes against him. In other words, silencing his critics. This is all according to a newsletter called Forbes. Yo.
That doesn't sound good at all.
No, it's not good. What's happening in the US could be especially problematic for the whole world. That is because it could lead to the US becoming a dictatorship, and we don't know what Trump would do if that happened.
So freedom of speech is really important for the whole world?
It is one of the most important parts of a democracy. And democracy is, well, obviously really important.
How is freedom of speech doing in Norway? Of course, there is the problems about the US and social media, but are there any problems in the country itself?
Well, in Norway, the right of free speech is doing pretty well, but as you say, there are still threats against it, like the cancel culture, which is getting spread all over social media. Yo.
That's very curious, but can you please stop saying yo after answering my questions?
No, bro. I'm so hip and cool.
That's the end of this podcast. Hope you had a good time and bye.